I feel like I want to see a day where gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people in all 435 congressional districts, in all 50 states, that we all have the same shot. You know, right now we don't, and that is my dream. I think the power of dream is naming it, saying it, sharing it, because I think dreams are not things that go unrealized. Dreams are sort of like blueprints for where we're going, and if you can get to work, those things become reality. I think stories are the most powerful thing we have to communicate, to change minds, to change hearts. If you can do that, you can start to change communities, states, countries, the world. I just think they're the most potent thing we have. I grew up around stories. I grew up around crafting stories, and that's what I wanted to do. And you know, I didn't grow up wealthy, so I couldn't self-finance movies. So I became a screenwriter. I am Dustin Lance Black, and I'm a filmmaker, writer, producer, director, all that. But my other job is as an activist in the movement, and namely as one of the founding board members of the American Foundation for Equal Rights, best known for waging the fight against Proposition 8 here in California. Inspiration comes from reading, you know, our history, reading any history, listening to people tell stories. And for me, it's always that very, very personal story. And it's usually about an outsider of some sort, and the power that the outsider has to create the chaos, and their comfortability creating the chaos that's necessary to create change. I mean, I grew up in San Antonio, Texas, in a Mormon home, a devout Mormon home, with, you know, parents or step-parents who were in the military. I remember so clearly at 6 years old, there was a boy who had stolen a toy car from me and spray painted it to try and conceal it, and we were a very, very poor family, and there was no replacing it. And I just remember him walking away from me and just really feeling hurt, not angry, but hurt, and knowing that that was the moment that I just absolutely had fallen for him. I had a huge crush on him, and I was hurt that he would do something like that to me. Now, I was, you know, aware enough of what gay meant that I knew that's who I was. And I knew it was a bad thing, because that's what I'd been taught. And I knew if anyone found out, I'd bring great shame to my family. You know, how does that shape me? Well, I survived. I got lucky. I did the hard work, and it is hard work to recover from the injuries that you suffer when you're a kid in that sort of environment. Injuries to your soul, to your self-esteem. Really, I've taken whatever strength I've drawn from being able to recover from that, and I work every single day to make sure that kids won't feel that again, because it's unnecessary. That's what that kind of childhood did to me. It's turned me into a fighter, and we're not going to let it happen forever. You know, coming out is this long process, isn't it? It's a lifelong process for some people, for many people. Like, you keep having to do it. You come out to your family, and, you know, and that was hard, because I do come from a conservative family, and it was a process of going through all the sort of fears that people have because of the stories they've heard, whether it's in the church or the military. My mom was, she was afraid for me. She thought it would end my career, it would hurt my ability to be out in the world. And I think blaming herself, thinking she had somehow done something wrong. It wasn't until she started coming out here and she started meeting my friends. So she would listen to my gay and lesbian friends' problems, you know, about being kicked out of their home or suffering in some way from rejection, and it didn't match up with what she had heard about gay and lesbian people. And it's I'm telling you, it's those stories, it's those personal connections that change minds, change hearts, and I watched it change my mom. I would say in both my creative work and in my political work, What I'm most focused on post Proposition 8, being done away with, is the South. All the states that we've left behind, that haven't been a part of the conversation, that haven't moved forward, places where it's still, you can still lose your job and your home if you come out. Those of us who are lucky enough to be on the coasts where we have more freedom and protections, we've neglected some of our brothers and sisters in the middle of the country in the South, and we are living in two Americas. But that's not the tradition of this country. In fact, the tradition of the country is when we see two Americas, we have to fix that. And I feel like that's where we are right now. And so whether it's my creative work or my political work, those are the conversations I'm trying to create. This is a movement of accepting diversity, of accepting difference, embracing difference, starting to see the value in diversity instead of that weird reaction that I saw growing up where if I was in a mall in Texas and it's mostly white, Christian people, and all of a sudden someone of a different race or dressed very differently walks by, the parent would pull the child in a little tighter. And I'm saying that is counterproductive. I do not want to see the LGBT people become the same as anybody. And I think that what I want for them are the same protections and the same rights as everybody else. Protect our right to be different. It's what this country was built on, and it's what we should be. Gay, straight, black, white, rich, poor. I don't want people to feel that they have to be the same as anyone. And I think once we get to that point, it's very hopeful, but once we get to that point where diversity is seen as advantageous, we'll be the strongest country in the world again.